started the series with the subject of relationship, and we said that look, relationship is something which is so important for anything which happens in life. So we said that look, we are successful because of a relationship, and whatever is happening in our life is happening because of the relationship. Okay, we also stated in another video that look, the behavior or the crux around which the relationship revolves around is the concept of conversation. Okay, so how we converse and how responsibly we converse, it has a direct impact on the type of relationships we develop. So we were moving from broader to specifics, or from a general to specifics, where we talked about relationship and then we talked about conversation. And in conversation we said that look, to make conversations effective, there are 4 behaviors which are required, and if those 4 behaviors are missing, the conversations would not take place to the completeness with which it can. So the first behavior which we talked about was the behavior of listening, and then we talked about the behavior of respecting, and today we're going to touch upon the third behavior which is required to make conversations happen or to make dialogues flow. Okay, and you would see that look, this particular behavior, for that matter all behaviors which I've been touching upon, so I touched upon listening, which is a serious issue in the corporate world. I touched upon respecting. There also there is a issue. We respect authority, we respect definitions, but we need to respect the collective intelligence, and we need to respect the way I explained in my video that look, you know how people in that South African tribe meet and greet people. Okay, so that's the type of openness which is required to respect. So coming back to the point number 3, or the behavior number 3, which is of suspending. Okay, so let's look at this word suspend. Okay, so when we say that look, something is being suspended, it's being put into in a sort of an inactive state. Okay, or to look at literally, to suspend means to hang. Okay, so what is the relevance of this word suspend or suspending in this whole concept of conversation? Oh, it's very important, and that's where I think most of the conversations go wrong. You may be able to listen, you may be able to respect, but if you're not able to suspend, I think that's a real bottleneck which we need to address. And suspension means that look, whatever your assumptions are, whatever your judgments are, and whatever your opinions are, can you please suspend them for some time and be into the conversation without getting carried away or influenced by your own judgments. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm talking about is that look, when you get into a conversation, please ask, are you getting into a conversation with some opinion? So you have a conversation on, let's say there is a meeting which is scheduled on how do we take revenue from X level to Y level. Okay, and if you enter into the meeting room with this notion that look, it's not going to happen and this meeting is useless, there is no point talking about it, trust me, it's going to turn out to be no point only. Okay, so the assumption, the judgment, and the preconceived idea which may be coming from the past, okay, it's not that what you're talking about is completely irrelevant and rubbish, no, but what you need to acknowledge that look, it is not complete and it is not true. What has happened in the past, it does not mean that it's going to happen in the present or it's going to happen in the future. Okay, so being conscious of this aspect that look, all my judgments, all my assumptions, all my opinions, all my ideas are coming from the past. So please refer one of the video which I shared, and it was about difference between thought and thinking. Okay, so if we really want to get into effective conversation, we must learn this ability to suspend the clamoring which is there in the mind in the form of thoughts. Okay, and thoughts are very subtle. Okay, So imagine you get into a one-to-one conversation, for example, with someone, and the moment you listen some sentence coming from the other person, you try to judge it, okay, or you try to have a conclusive view to it, okay, or you try to get into a stand, okay, or you try to associate yourself with a particular school of thought and then take a position with that ideology in the mind, okay. So now see, you're not suspending anywhere, okay. So what you're doing is you are getting influenced by a database which is inside you, and you take that reality as complete truth while it is not. And please understand that, look, in this process of you trying to get into a position, there's a huge amount of inquiry which could have been done. So Edgar Sheehan is a very well-known author on subject of culture, on subject of change. So and I remember he's written a book on a concept called humble inquiry. Okay, so I think what is required in conversation is suspending your assumptions, suspending your thoughts, and being there with the flow and trying to inquire. Okay, so it's not about answering, it's about questioning. Okay, questioning means, the word quest, so trying to figure out, or trying to understand, trying to get into the deeper aspect of the subject of the conversation. Okay, and I'm sure that, look, the discovery would definitely happen. Or you have a choice that you can keep pushing your own ideas, you can keep pushing your past experiences, and there's going to be a huge amount of loss which you would realize over a period of time that, look, you could have gained a lot. And trust me, I, in process of doing so many interviews which I've done in my life, uh, I also have some of these behaviors in me, some of these emotions in me, and there were times when I was almost at the verge of closing the interview with certain, decision in my mind that, look, whether the candidate is in or the candidate is not in. And then I said, no, let me inquire one more aspect, okay? Let me figure out one more point. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, there are discoveries which happen, okay? Let me tell you one experience of me interviewing a guy for a finance function, and I asked him that, look, tell me two things which you would like to change in your behavior, okay? And the answer came from this guy very instantly that, look, I would like to reduce watching television, okay? And I said, so why do you watch television? He said, no, I mean, I generally watch television more than what normally people watch. I said, what do you watch? You watch serials, or you watch movies, you watch news, what do you watch? So he said, no, I generally watch television, okay. And then I started getting deeper into this particular behavior of this person of watching television more than what the normally people watch. And you'll be surprised, the discovery was that, look, he started getting into this habit of watching television post his 12th standard. And this happened because his father was a chronic alcoholic or a drunkard. And he used to get this information from different people that, look, today your father has fallen there and this is what your father has done. And so being outside house, or not, so there were every time some or other bad news which he encountered. So to avoid all that, he started watching television. And from the school days, when he was, just 12th standard pass, he's been carrying that habit. The time has changed, the father is no more there, he's got his own family, he's got a child. But look, ladies and gentlemen, how something which got engraved during his school days, and this gentleman is carrying even today, after almost a decade or more. So this discovery that, look, what is that which is driving this person's behavior of watching television and making him also aware. So you become aware only when you do not get carried away by your judgment or your ideas, okay? So to become more aware, you need to be inquiring about it, and to inquire, you need to listen, and to listen, you need to respect people, and respect people the way I explained in my earlier video on respecting. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's about relationship, it's about conversations, making relationships, it's about four behaviors, and we have already covered three behaviors. And the fourth behavior, which is a behavior of voicing, I'll be coming to that behavior probably tomorrow. And I'm sure that look, this entire aspect of conversation has made a difference. I'll be getting into a few more example as things unfold. So, suspending is about keeping your thoughts in abeyance, keeping them. It's like, you have heard something, and you there is a reaction which is coming in you. There is an emotion which is getting generated in you. You just got to consciously tell yourself that, look, hold on, okay, let me go deeper and understand it. Let me go deeper in understanding it. I hope I'm not getting into a conclusion. I'm not jumping to the conclusion, okay. So, how many times you get into discussions or into meetings with a set idea or a set judgment in mind, and I'm sure you'll come back with that judgment only getting delivered in the meeting, okay. So it is said that, look, you can't shake hand with people who have a closed fist. You need to be shaking hand only with people who have open hand, not the closed fist. So that's what the suspension is all about, okay. So keep your mind open, keep your ideas, values, judgments, you know, positions, identifications, okay, that look, I come from a congress, and I come from different party, and I come from this school of thought, I come from that school of thought, I am in favor of republic, I am in favor of democrats. You know, so all these things limit your discovery. And why to limit a discovery? So thank you very much for listening to me, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great evening, and I'll see you again. Till that time, keep watching my channel, Nirmal Singh Raghav, and I'll be back on the fourth behavior, which is the behavior